Good morning, all. So today I am discussing about modern methods of performance appraisal. So in previous class, I am already discussing about what are the traditional methods of performance appraisal. Today I am discussing about the modern methods of performance appraisal. Okay, so what are the modern methods for performance appraisal? Okay, so then first one is management by objectives. This is simply called as MBO. So it is an advanced thing generally. So it is a different. It is a very big topic. Just I am giving some introduction about this. So briefly. So because according to your syllabus, that is enough. Okay. So first one, management by objectives. So it is a process in which a manager identifies the desired objectives to be achieved and gives each individual a major areas of responsibility in terms of results expected from him or her and use these measures as a guide to access the contribution of each individual employee. Okay, so it is a process. Actually, MBO is a process. It has some steps. So in which a manager identifies the desired objectives in this MBO. First, the manager is identifies the desired objectives to be achieved. So, what are the desired objectives to be achieved? So, and gives each individual a major areas of responsibility. So, and also the manager should give some responsibility to the each and every person in some major areas. In terms of results expected from him or her, use these measures as a guide to access the contribution of each individual employee. Then after that, you are giving some targets and some responsibilities to the each and every employee. Then after that, it gives some result. Then depending upon that result, you have to measure as a guide to access the contribution of each individual employee. Then you have to assess what is the contribution of each and every employee. Then also you have to guide the employee, so how they are working, so and is there any corrective actions required. So then he gives feedback on employee performance. Then it is less time consuming and cost effective compared to other performance appraisal methods. So actually it is a very less time consuming method. So it takes only a little bit of time, and also it is also cost effective because it is not it is a economic one. So cost is also very low compared to other performance appraisal methods. So with this method, you can easily find out whether the stated objective is achieved or not in a given time period. So what objective I have to give, and it is completed within the time or not, it is completely depend upon this only. Okay, so you are giving the objectives, and all, and after that, and you have to assign the time. Then you have to find out whether the objective is completed within the time or not. Depending upon that, we have to appraise the performance of the employee. Okay, so this is the management by objective. And next one is behaviorally anchored rating scale, BARS. Short form is BARS, that is behaviorally anchored rating scale. So this method has been developed recently and is claimed to be one of the effective methods among all the appraisal methods listed. Okay, so this method is has been developed recently. So it is developed in recently and is claimed to be one of the effective methods among all the appraisal methods listed. So what are the methods we have? All of these, it is very effective method. Okay, so it is a combination of traditional essay evaluation and rating scale. Okay, so it is a combination of traditional essay method. So under traditional method, there is essay method, and after that, it is also rating scale. It is also having the rating scale also. So both are combined. Then it is more expensive than other methods and guarantees precise results. But it is more expensive compared to others, but it gives precise results. That means it gives exact results, guarantee. Okay, so other methods and guarantees precise results, but it gives complete result. That is also guarantee. Okay, so that means accurate. Okay, so in this method, the employee's behavior and performance are analyzed and used for evaluating overall performance of an employee. Okay, so in this method, employees' behavior and performance are analyzed. Both are analyzed, both behavior and performance both are analyzed and used for evaluating overall performance of an employee. And this is used to evaluating overall performance of an employee. So both subjective matters and objective matters both are included. then we are evaluating the complete performance of the employee. So HR department is involved in this process. So total HR department is involved in this process. Based on the performance and behavior of an employee, they are anchored as good, average, or poor. So based on this performance and behavior of an employee, then uh, we divided and we grouped as employee, whether it is a good, whether it is a average, whether it is a poor. So based on these three criteria, you have to divide the employees. Good people are one, good employees are one group, average employees are in one group, and poor employees are in one group. So this is behaviorally anchored rating scale. So next, third one, critical incident method. Third one is critical incident method. So this is also one of the modern technique. So in this method, the employer or manager evaluates an employee on the basis of certain events known as critical incidents, where the employee did something really great or something not too great things, not so great. Suppose some particular situations are occurred in general in mm, some situations are arised. So when in the period of employment, so on that particular event, how the employee is working and how to handle that situation by the employee, that is very important thing. Suppose is there any critical situation is occurred, suppose is the there is a problem in the production or something, or a labor issue or something. So then how to handle that situation? Okay, so how to resolve that problem? So how to handle that particular situation, how to overcome the problems which are related to the particular situation. So based on this, then you have to appraise the performance of the employee. So suppose he handle in a very good manner, so without any problem, then he will be treated as a uh, good performance employee. So otherwise he is not able to handle that situation, then ultimately we treat it as an average or something. So we are giving some average rank or some poor rank. So the evaluator should maintain a digital or physical journal to store the information of different incidents. So not only based on single incident, then you have to consider more than two or three incidents, or per a month, how many situations are occurred in that particular situation, how the employee is reacted. Then you have to record all these things in a digital or a physical journal and store it, and store the information of different incidents. Okay, so you have to maintain record for all the employees, not only single employee. So all the employee, then you have to maintain these type of records. Then this method is extremely useful for the growth of an employee, since it gives detailed information unlike other performance appraisal methods. So what is the greatness of this method is, then you have to appraise the performance of the employee. So based on his skill set. Okay, so how to handle that? So that means it is based on the skill. Okay, so situation handling is very important. So it is not it is not done by all the employees. Okay, so for those who are effectively done this task, then you have to give top rank to that person. So ultimately that is very important thing, because in organization, in regular business transactions and business functionings, then we have to face different type of problems. Then you have to identify that problems, and also you have to resolve that problems in an efficient manner. Then only the organization running in a smooth way. So otherwise, if problems are persist, then ultimately it gives adverse effect on the business. Okay, so then you have to control everything. Okay, so up to in our hands. Then fourth one is 360-degree feedback. This is also modern technique. So this is somewhat time consuming method, since there are multiple raters involved in evaluating the performance. So not only single rater gives the rating to performance of employee. So in this method, so many people are multiple raters are involved. So not a single rater, multiple raters are involved. But it's worth a try. But it is worth to try. So you have to try this. So in this method, the feedback of the employee is collected by the people who interact with him in the organization, including his superiors, peers, subordinates, and also from customers. So in this feedback method, not only rater is involved, then superiors and also peers and subordinates and also customers. So all these are involved in this 360-degree feedback. So then you have to take the feedback from the customer and also subordinates and also peers and also superiors. So based on all these feedback, then you have to give the rating to the employee. So and you have to appraise the performance of the employee. So the feedback is usually taken by a questionnaire designed for this purpose. So for customer purpose, you have to frame a questionnaire, different questionnaire, and subordinates, you have to frame a different questionnaire. And for the purpose of peers, for the feedback of the peers, then you have to develop separate questionnaire. And based on for the superiors feedback, then you have to develop the separate questionnaire. The questionnaire is different from superior to peer, peer to subordinate, subordinate to customer, because uh, because there is a need, because different perceptions is there. Superior is thinking because superior is working in the with that employee directly, and customers are only interacting with that person. Just subordinates are also worked with together. Then the different criteria are there. So based on this criteria and positions, then you have to change the questionnaire also. Okay. So the feedback is in the form of questionnaire. Then this method is very useful for the startups. So then those who are starting newly, so startup companies using this method, this is very useful for these companies. So take a look at this detailed infographic on 360-degree performance appraisal process. So then you have to see the image of the 360-degree perform. There is a graph. So then you have to be able to understand what it is exactly. Okay. So there is an infographic method. Infographic details are available in this 360-degree performance appraisal. Then you have to see that infographic things, components. Then you are able to understand what exactly going on. Okay. So this is about 360-degree feedback. Okay. So then next one, fifth one is forced choice method. So another important model. So forced choice method. So in this method, evaluator rates an employee based on the group of statements. So in this model, the performance is evaluator is rates the employee based on the group of statements. Okay. So some statements are there according to, suppose some negative statements are there and positive statements are giving to the employee. Then what the answers is came from the employee depends upon that. Then we are able to understand what the employee perception, and also how they are understand the situation and how to handle the situation. Then you need to identify the most descriptive statements of an employee and evaluate him such as. So then you have to take the descriptive statements for an employee. Suppose you are asking some question or uh, some inquiry, then the employee is giving answer in the form of statements. Then based on the statements, you have to understand what is the perception of the employee, and also are able to understand what the employee is thinking. Okay. So can be dependent to complete the project or task. So is can be dependent to complete the project or task. That is the first thing. So and is reliable and trustworthy. The person is reliable and trustworthy or not, and he is able to complete the project or not. Okay. So there are the 5 effective performance appraisal methods you can implement right away. These are the 5 effective performance methods, modern performance appraisal methods. So implementing these methods and a proper performance management software helps in the growth of an employee and hence the growth of an organization. So then you have to perform all these with the performance management software. Then you have to analyze the employee on the basis of different factors. Then you have to get the complete picture of the employee performance. Okay, so you have to done all these methods on one employee or all employees with the help of performance management software. Then you are able to analyze each and every employee in a complete manner. Then you are getting the complete feedback of the complete appraisal of the performance. Then you take corrective actions and you to so or you are trying to motivate the employee. So and also you are giving suggestion to the employee, and finally, is there any training requirements are needed? Then you are also providing the training also. Okay. So these are the things. Okay. So these are the modern methods of the performance appraisal techniques. Okay. Then next topic, job evaluation. So job evaluation is another important thing. So you have to evaluate the job. So an attempt to determine and compare the demands which the normal performance of a particular job normal workers without taking account of the individual abilities or performance of workers concerned. It rates the job, not the rank. So this is also one of the rating technique. So in this technique, so it is an attempt of the normal performance, compare the normal performance of a particular job makes on normal workers without taking account of the individual abilities or performance. So in this method, we are not considering the individual abilities and also performance of the workers. Okay, so only depending upon the normal performance. That means we are only considering the normal performance. So without any motivation or without any guidance, then what is the normal performance of the you have to consider it only. So based on this, then you have to give the ranking. Okay, so that is job evaluation. So job evaluation objectives. So to establish correct wage differentials for all jobs within the factory. So based on this, you have to differentiate the wages of the persons. So correct wage, and also based on this. So those who are showing the good performance, they are giving some more wage or high wages, and some those are having the average performance, then you are giving the average amount. That means some less amount. And based on suppose he shows poor performance, then you are giving only low amount of wages. Okay, so based on this job evaluation, you have to give the wages. So to bring new jobs into their proper relativity with jobs previously established. So already there is some jobs are established in the organization. So then with this job evaluation, so you have to create a new jobs in a proper manner. Okay, so then to help clarify lines of authority, responsibility and promotion, and after that it is very helpful to clarify lines of authority. That means line of authority, that top management to middle management to low level management, and responsibility and promotion, these are also things. Responsibilities, how we are assigning the responsibilities and how to give the promotions. For all these things, it is very helpful for the management. And after that, to accomplish the foregoing by means of the facts and principles, which can be readily explained to and accepted by all concerned. Okay, after that, it is accomplished the foregoing by means of the facts and principles. Okay, so it is based on the facts and principles which can be really readily explained to and accepted by all concerned. Okay, so these are readily explained and also accepted by all concerns. Okay, then after that, to establish a general wage level for a given factory, which will have parity with those of neighboring factories. Okay, so after that, to establish a general wage level. Okay, so you have to establish a general wage level for a given factory. So which will have parity with those of neighboring factories. Suppose in neighboring factories, they are giving some more salaries, then you have to differentiate how we are giving the wages. Then you have to decide based on this job evaluation. So for suppose this type of job, then what they are giving the salary, so how much they are giving the salary, then you have to decide. Then how to differentiate how we are giving the salaries, and another factories or in another factory how they are giving the salaries, then you have to compare. Okay, so how we are compare, then job evaluation, first you have to done job evaluation, then only you have to compare the salary wages from one factory to another, our factory. Okay, so for this purpose also, this job evaluation is very useful. So after that, what are the advantages of job evaluation? Okay, so job evaluation, what are the advantages is, first one is it is simple, inexpensive and expectations. So it is very inexpensive and also very simple method. So and also without any expectations, suppose there is no extra things are needed. Then it is easily understood and easily administered. So this method is very easily understood and also easily administered. So administration is easy and also we are able to understand very easy. So then after that, it helps setting better rates than the arbitrary rates based purely on judgment and experience. After that, it helps setting better rates. So it is very helpful for setting better rates for employee. That means wage rates than the arbitrary rates based purely on judgment and experience. So it is purely based on the judgment and also experience. And after that, some unions prefer it because it leaves more room for bargaining. So some of the unions are trade unions are preferred it, but because it leads to more room for bargaining. Suppose the worker, there is a chance to worker bargain for his wage. So suppose, sir, please increase my wage. So because I show good performance and also I'm hardworking, so I'm also having these type of skills. Then in this way, he is negotiating with the management to increase his wage. So in this, there is a chance. It creates some room to to bargain. Bargain means that is nothing but a negotiation. Okay. So after that, disadvantages. Disadvantages means job may be ranked on the basis of incomplete inform action and without the benefits of well-defined standards. So generally, job in this method, job is based on ranked on the basis of incomplete information. So there is no incomplete information because we are only considering on the normal performance, and we need not considering, so we don't considering the internal factors which are skills and knowledge and abilities. We are not considering it. So based on only purely based on the normal performance, then it is not a well-defined standards. Okay, so it does not provide a it does not provide a benefit to organization. So then the rank position of different jobs is likely to be influenced by the prevailing wage ranks. Okay, so the rankings are affected, or it is affected by, and also the previously wage ranks. Those are suppose wage ranks are influencing the ranking position of the different jobs based on the wage. The we are assigning the ranks for jobs. Okay, so based on the wage, then we are assigning the rank for the job also. That is the another disadvantage. And no one committee member is likely to be familiar with all the jobs. So suppose this is done by the committee. So all the committee members are does not much familiar with the all the jobs, because they are only the committee members are knowing only some of the jobs in the organization, because he came from different department. How we know all the departments and also all the employees, he is not able to get all the information regarding all the jobs. Then ultimately the ranking is also giving by the rater or evaluator without a proper knowledge on that job. Okay, so then it is not exact one. Okay, so and also it not provide the complete suppose the complete image of the job, and it's not completely evaluate the performance of the employee. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of this job evaluation method. Okay, so and after that, methods of job evaluation. Okay, so there are some methods of job evaluation. So it is broadly classified as qualitative methods and quantitative methods. Okay, so qualitative methods are based on the quality, and quantitative methods are based on quantity. Okay, so how we are calculate, how we are used it, then we are then we are able to understand after explaining. Okay, so then qualitative methods. So it can broadly classified as ranking or classifying the job from lowest to highest. So based on the quality, then we are giving the lowest to highest. So we are providing the ranks based on the quality. So ranking technique. So first one is the ranking technique. Under qualitative method, there is a first method is ranking technique. So in this method, the jobs in the organization are arranged in either in the ascending or descending order, and numbered serially. So either ascending order or descending order, all the jobs are arranged in the form of ascending order or descending order. Both are preferred. You have to choose anyone. So and also you are giving numbers serially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like this. The basis of such arrangement could be the job description in terms of duties, responsibilities, qualifications needed, relative difficulty involved in the job, or value to the company. So how we are arranging these jobs based on the job description and also duties of the job, responsibilities of the job, and qualifications of the job for the job for that job, and relative difficulty involved in that. Suppose is there any difficulty in the job, then our value of the value on the how much value created the job for the company. Based on all these things, you have to put them into an ascending or descending order. So after that, what are the points to be considered? Then in the ranking technique, amount of work involved. So how much amount of work is involved in that particular job? And after that, supervision, how much supervision is needed? Then extent of responsibility required. Then is there any responsibility, is some more extra responsibility is required or not? And difficulties involved in the work. Suppose this is a difficult work, and working conditions required. So what are the work conditions required? Based on these, then you are put them into an order. So suppose these are because all these are required, then you are giving to the top priority to the job. Okay, so otherwise you are giving less priority to the job. Based on these points to be considered, then you have to arrange them in an order. Then you are, after that you have to give the rankings. Okay, those are nothing but serial order is nothing but rank. Those are in the first question. Suppose ascending order, that is a top priority, first one. So either you are putting into the descending order, last one is a top priority. Okay, so I think are able to understand. Suppose you are putting them into ascending order, so lowest to, suppose highest to lowest, then it will be last one is the top priority. Suppose you are putting them into a descending order, so then first one is having top priority and last one is as a low priority. Okay, then so then next one, second one is the classification method. So classification method, this is also called job grading method. So here the number of grades and the salary particulars for each grade are worked out first. First job grading method, it is also called as a job grading method. So the number of grades and the salary particulars for each grade are worked out first. First you have to focus on number of grades you have to give, and also salary particulars for the each grade. First you have to work on it. Then the grades are clearly described in terms of knowledge, skill, and so on. So how you are assigning the grades, how you are giving the grades based on the knowledge and also skills, you have to give the gradings. Okay, then major steps for job evaluation. So what are the major steps in the job evaluation? So deciding the number of grades, first you have to decide the number of grades, grading in grading method. So after that, writing grade descriptions. After that, you have to give the grade for suppose A grade, you are giving the A grade. Suppose A, B, C, D grade. Then what is the description of A grade and what is the description of B grade? What is the description of C grade and what is the description of D grade? Then after that, identifying listing of the jobs to be evaluated. After that, you have to identify and also listing of the jobs to be evaluated. And after that, preparing job descriptions. Okay. So and after that, you have to prepare the job descriptions. Then you have to evaluate the job. This is the second one, classification method. Then next one is quantitative methods. Okay. So after that, we are discussing about quantitative methods. So quantitative methods are based on the quantity. Suppose the points, based on the points. So some values, some numerical values you have to give in this method. So where point values are assigned to the various demands of a job and relative value is obtained by summing up all such points values. So based on some points values, then we are giving the rankings or grades. So first one is factor comparison method. So first one is the factor comparison method. In this method, every job requires certain capabilities on the part of the person who does the job. Okay, so in this method, every job requires certain capabilities on the part of the person who does the job. Okay, so based on the capabilities required for this job and person who does this job, the person who is the do this job, based on this, you have to compare the different factors. Then we are assigning the rankings. Then these capabilities are considered as critical factors, which can be grouped as follows. Okay, these are considered as the critical factors and also grouped as, okay, and grouped as like this. First one is main effort and second one is skill, and grouped skill set, all the, suppose based on the skills, then you have to group them on to group them to skill set, and physical, those are related to the physical, then grouped it as physical, and responsibility, based on this, based on the responsibility, that group is called as a responsibility, and working conditions. So based on these five, then you have to group the all the fact grouping all the factors based on these five things. Okay, so mean effort, skill set, and physical things, and responsibilities, and working conditions. So if anything is there, then you have to put into these groups. Okay. So then after that grouping, then steps involved in the factor comparison method. What are the steps involved in the factor comparison method? First one is identifying. First one is identify the key jobs. First, you have to identify the what are the key jobs in the organization. That means major jobs. Then after that, rank the key job factor by factor. After that, you have to rank the key job factor by factor. So apportion the salary among each factor and rank the key jobs. So then salary, apportion the salary among each factor and rank the key jobs. So based on the salary and also factors, then you have to rank the key jobs. Then compare factor ranking of each job with its monetary ranking. So you have to compare the factor ranking and also monetary ranking in normal ranking. Then you have to compare both of them for each job and develop a monetary comparison scale. After that, you have to develop a comparison scale. Then evaluate non-key jobs based on the monetary comparison scale. So those who are non-key jobs, not important one. So then you have to evaluate with this monetary comparison scale. Okay. So it is already developed on based on the factor ranking and also normal monetary ranking. Then you have to comparison. Then you have to develop the comparison scale. So after that, with this comparison scale, you have to evaluate the non-key jobs also. Okay. So these are the steps involved in the factor comparison method. So then point rating method. So in this point rating method, there are 4 widely accepted factors used in the point rating method. So skill, effort, responsibility, and job conditions. So okay, based on these 4 things, then you have to comparison. Then you have to comparison with all these factors with one another one. Then you are able to understand what is the difference in between that person or and this job. Then you are giving the rankings based on these 4 factors. So what are these 4 factors? Skills, efforts, responsibility towards, and working conditions or job conditions. So skills, there is subset is there. Some sub factors is there under skills. One is education and training. First one is the education and training. So and experience and judgment and initiative. These are comes under skills. Okay, so education and training and also based on the experience and judgment and initiative. How they are take the judgments based on these things, then you have to evaluate. And after that, efforts. What are the physical efforts you have and what are the mental efforts you have. So based on this, you have to evaluate the efforts of the employee. And after that, responsibility towards how much he is responsible. So materials are product, how he is handling materials and product, and how he is using equipment and process, and how he is thinking about safety of others, and he is taking the responsibility of safety of others. That means he is not causing anybody for anything damage or accident or something. So he is not harmful to any other person with his activities. Then he is completely focusing on the safety of the others, and also self safety. He is also safe and also thinking about other safety also. So don't neglect the safety measurements. And after that, work of others. So how he is involved in the work of others, that is also important thing. And after that, final thing is the job conditions. So within the environment, how the environment is going on, and it is very that is employee friendly environment is there or not. Then how the manager is interacting with the employee and how the manager is treating the employee. So how the management thinking about the employees, and how the what are the facilities are provided by the management for the employee. So these are all considered as a job condition. Based on all these things, you have to evaluate each and every factor with another one. Then you are getting the idea about this method. Okay, so this is the point rating method. Okay, so today I stopped over here. This topic is over.